Many people try to sell to SaaS companies, but most of them have no idea how to even get in front of them, which is why in today's video, we're going to be covering exactly how you can send cold emails directly to SaaS companies at scale and make sure that they end up booking calls with you so they can purchase your products or services. So without further ado, let's dive straight in. All right, so we're going to be talking about how to cold email SaaS companies. And SaaS companies, great market segment to cold email. A lot of them are funded. A lot of them have high margins. So it's a great place to target, and we're going to talk specifically how you can send cold emails out to them in a targeted way at scale so that you can get in front of a lot of decision makers, you can get them on the phone, and you can sell them your products or services and make more money for your business. So we're first going to be talking about how to build out the email accounts, where to source the data. Then we're going to talk about how to write the campaigns and how to respond to prospects and book them in for calls. So the whole process, A to Z, I'm going to lay it out in this video completely for you. So you're going to want to watch this all the way through to the end. All right, so why you should listen to me specifically. So I'm this random guy here on Smartlead's channel, but a little bit of my background. My name is Matt Lucero. I teach 350 other people in a high ticket consulting program. I run an agency. We have about 25 clients. We send a couple 100,000 emails a month, probably closer to 300, maybe even 400,000 at this point. A lot of my clients target SaaS companies. You can see we've booked over 1,000 calls this isn't up to date, but we've sent probably over 2 million emails, probably close to 3 million, honestly, at this point. I know a thing or two about targeting SaaS companies, or at least I'd like to think so. So I might have a couple things I can share with you here in this video that can be useful if you want to target SaaS companies. So first, we're going to be quickly going through building the email infrastructure. This isn't going to be a full-blown video on deliverability, email infrastructure. There's tons of other great videos on this channel here on how to do that. But just to give you a high-level overview, if you're going to want to send emails to SaaS companies, you're going to first need to set up email accounts to do so, and typically a lot of them. Because if you just send out a couple emails, even if you have really good emails, you are not going to get the results you're probably looking for because of volume. A lot of people get a ton of emails. You have to get in front of a lot of decision makers if you want to get results at scale. So if you want to send out tons of emails, or hundreds of emails a day, 500 plus, 1,000 plus, however many emails you want, you're going to want to set up multiple email accounts, because if you send from one singular email account a ton of emails, Google and Microsoft, all these providers aren't dumb. They're going to say, hey, this guy's doing a little bit of weird stuff. You're going to get flagged. You're going to go to spam, and you can also ruin the reputation of your work domain. So you do not want to be emailing from your primary domain. The best practice is to set up multiple email accounts under multiple domains, add them to a warm-up pool, which simulates human activity, and increase the reputation for about 14 days before actually launching your campaigns. So if you use a tool like Smartlead, this simplifies this process a lot. They have built-in warm-up, inbox rotation, a bunch of other features, and starts at $37 a month. This won't be a full-blown video on setting up email accounts, but in short, you should set up as many accounts as you need through Google or Microsoft and create 1 to 3 users per domain. So essentially, you're going to want to create a fresh domain. You're going to set up new email accounts under that domain, and then you're going to want to send somewhere below, and I talk about it down here, less than 50 total emails per day. And if about half of them are warm up, then you're going to be able to send about 25 cold emails per day per account. So these are best practices as of now. Deliverability is constantly changing, but at the time of watching this video, this is the best practices. You should have them on warm up. If you want to send 500 emails a day, you'd probably need about 20 different email accounts. So set up the accounts, connect them to Smartlead, add them to warm up for 14 days. And in the meantime, you can build your list and strategy. The reason why I cover this first is because you're going to want to get this done as soon as possible, because there is a time delay between whenever you set up the accounts and whenever you can go live. So you're going to want to get this done as soon as possible. And now we're going to talk about where you can find the data. All right, so now where to source the data. So there are hundreds of thousands of decision makers at SaaS companies across the world that are actively looking to buy your products or services. So here are a few of my favorite ways to scrape their data. And really, I'm going to talk about one main way and then a couple different side ways that you can do this. Granted, there are a million databases that you can scrape from. This is just my personal favorite and what I found to be most effective. So the one that I'm mainly going to be talking about here is Crunchbase. Crunchbase is a database specifically around startups. It has funding data, it has acquisition data, and it also has a lot of filters specific to SaaS companies. So Crunchbase is probably going to be your best bet if you want to prospect into SaaS companies. They have the most robust filtering that I've seen specific to SaaS companies. Not to say that there aren't any other databases that can can do this, but this is my favorite personally. They allow you to scrape qualified accounts directly off their platform, so companies and contacts. I personally like to use other data sources for the contacts, and I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But you can see here, this is one of their filters, and unlike most other databases have a filter that's just like computer software or IT services, and a lot of that data is very cloudy. It doesn't really indicate that they're actual SaaS companies, versus Crunchbase has a filter specifically for SaaS. And they also have even more granular filters I don't have here up on my screen. You can filter by mobile apps. You can filter by specific types of software. You can layer on all kinds of different things. And so in my opinion, if you want to target SaaS companies, I think Crunchbase is great. And also they have up-to-date info around funding. This is also really important if you want to target funded companies. So let's say you want to target SaaS companies, but you want to target Series A SaaS companies or Series A funded SaaS companies that were funded in the last 6 months. So if they were Series A funded and they were funded in the last 6 months, that means that they probably have hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, that they're looking to deploy on vendors so that they can grow their company quicker. And so these people are very, very, very good people to target because you know they have money, you know they fit your target market, and they're actively trying to spend it so that they can grow their company. So I personally like to use the query builder feature inside of Crunchbase. It allows you to stack on multiple filters. So good ones to use are funding type, funding date, and then the software industry filter or the software filter here, where you can filter into SaaS, you can filter into different types of SaaS, you can do fintech, you can do all kinds of different filters here in Crunchbase, and you can use the different funding features or the funding criteria to inform the types of leads you should be reaching out to, and you can use that in your copy. So now once you've scraped that data, you can then take the company data and plug it into a tool like Apollo or ListKit to actually get the contacts. So you can get the contacts directly off of Crunchbase, but typically from what I've seen is that Crunchbase is a little bit more expensive if you want to source the contact data. And I also think Apollo and ListKit are better suited if you want to get really, really granular on the people themselves. So I'd recommend taking Crunchbase, getting a subscription, grabbing the contacts or grabbing the companies, off of Crunchbase, and then plugging them into an Apollo or a ListKit to get the actual decision makers, the CEOs, the owners, the founders. And then you can take those directly off of those platforms, validate them, and plug them into a tool like Smartlead. Smartlead has native validation, so that makes it super simple. But if you use a tool like ListKit, they also have native validation too, so you can plug those directly into your email campaigns. All right, so now we're going to be talking about how to write the actual email copy. So we first talked about how to build the email infrastructure. Then we talked about how to source and scrape the data. Now we're going to talk about how to write the actual email copy that you can send out to these SaaS companies. So ChatGPT is a great place to start if you want to get some high-level marketing angles that you can use. So here's an example that I prompted ChatGPT and some of the output. So I said, hey, ChatGPT, tell me some of the problems that recently funded SaaS companies might be facing. And here it popped out and said scalability issues, customer acquisition issues, retention issues, product development issues, and operational challenges. There's a few more that it had, and you can also prompt ChatGPT to go even a couple layers deeper. So you could say, tell me more about the churn issues, what specifically makes up the churn issues, whether it's credit card failure and all these other different things. But here's a high-level overview of the things that you can prompt ChatGPT and the results that it gave you. And now you can use these to inform your marketing angles. So let's say you're selling a tool to SaaS companies that helps them reduce their churn rate or helps them make more money, but you can tie that in with churn rate, or you can tie it in with let's say you have a development tool, you can talk about how it reduces their technical debt or how it fixes their technical debt, because maybe they built their SaaS company and they had a lot of things done the wrong way because they want to get the product out very quickly. And now you can come in and fix it and, redo their development. Again, I'm not an expert in SaaS stuff specifically, so don't crucify me if I mess up some stuff about, what these specific pain points are. But at a high level, I would say that these are pretty well identified problems that SaaS companies have. I know churn is a big issue that SaaSes have. I know that prioritizing features, getting customer feedback, hiring and retention, getting good devs, support and maintenance, these are all issues that SaaS companies have. So you can take these and inform your marketing angles around these. So if you're selling a solution, you can tie these specific pain points in with your product or service to make them resonate more with your audience. So And those are how you can come up with some marketing angles. Now, when it comes to writing the actual emails, couple best practices on writing the emails. I would say number one, keep your emails short and direct. You don't want to have a giant paragraph where they skim it over and they don't even want to read it because it's just a ton of text. Lead with value. So if you can come up front and say, hey, can I give you a free trial? Hey, can I do this for free? Or hey, I'd love to do this service for you. There's going to be a lot higher chance you're going to get people responded and interested in talking to you because, again, you're coming in as a cold email. You're a complete stranger to them. And so if you lead with value, you can get a lot more out of your email campaigns. Also personalizing and tailoring your emails. If again, you can use these kind of more general personalizations around pain points, but if you can talk specifically about something to them, whether or not maybe they were recently funded, you could say, hey, congrats on your recent funding round. You can do all kinds of stuff there on personalization too to make them resonate with your messaging. So here's a super simple framework for writing emails. Again, by no means is this the exact email template that you need to use. This is just one of the many that you can use. And there's other videos on this channel here where we talk about copywriting. But here's a super simple framework for writing emails. Call out why you're reaching out to them, explain your value proposition, give a clear call to action, and include any sort of social proof in your emails. So here is an email that I just wrote up out of thin air that kind of encapsulates all these different best practices. And you can use this kind of inform an email that you might write for your company if you are targeting SaaS companies. So, hi name, congrats on the recent Series A funding. I figure you might be looking to source talent quickly. So calling out why you're reaching out to them and personalizing it. So, hey, they recently had Series A funding, and since they are recently funded, they're probably looking to source talent quickly because they got all this venture money, they're looking to deploy it. We can headhunt highly qualified marketing, sales, and development talent, and you only pay us if you decide to hire a candidate that we source you. So this is explaining your value proposition, again, hitting on a pain point that they had here that they want to grow quickly, and then also including some social proof. So, hey, we've sourced over 100 candidates for recently funded companies, many that are Y Combinator funded, which is a big VC firm that a lot of other startups probably look up to. So, and then the last call to action here that we have is open to seeing some CVs. So we're leading with free value here and saying, hey, do you want to see some CVs? Hey, do you want to see some resumes of people that we can source in your company? So instead of immediately asking them, hey, can I get 30 minutes of your time so that you can pitch them, you can give them a free example of what your service looks like straight out the get-go to see if you can help them out. So this is just a super simple example of an email. By no means is this exactly what you need to do, but this is a great place to start if you're kind of lost for ideas and you want to see what a good cold email looks like and flows like that you can use. All right, so now we have talked about setting up the infrastructure, sourcing the data, writing the copy. Now we're going to talk about booking the meeting. So after you take all these assets, you can plug them into Smartlead, upload them, insert the copy. Super simple to get that done through the platform, but now you want to book meetings so you can get people on the calendar. So if you've executed everything properly, you're going to get people interested in your products or services. And normally it's hard to track all the different conversations, but Smartlead has a master inbox feature. It allows you to see all the leads from one central view, and to see the best results, you want to respond, number one, as quickly as possible, and number two, address their concerns and get them on a call. So let's say someone responds to their email, they say, awesome, I'd love to see some resumes. As our prior example, we talked about sending over some resumes. Then we send them over some resumes over email, and then we say, awesome, if these candidates look great, we should schedule a quick call and then pitch them sometime so you can get them on a call. So lead with value. If they like what they see, then you can get them on a call. And then you can also layer on cold calling or warm calling and LinkedIn outreach and DM outreach onto the leads that are already interested to maximize results. Because if they want to see some resumes, there's a good chance that they also want to get on the phone, and you can hit them on multiple different channels. So them saying yes to your initial ask or your initial pitch is basically them raising their hand saying, yes, I do have this pain point. And now you can hit them on other channels because you know they're a highly qualified lead, instead of wasting a ton of effort, sending out a ton of email or sending out a ton of calls, LinkedIn outreach, and all these other channels without getting their interest first. So you can get their interest first super easily over email because you can do a ton of touch bases instead of having to, cold call 500 people. You can cold email 500 people, and the 5 that are interested, you can manually call them. That way you can maximize your results. So that's how I'd recommend booking in the meetings. Be super direct, answer their concerns, and respond super quickly to get the highest chance possible that they get on a phone call with you. And from there, you can sell them on your products or services. All right, so that's how you cold email SaaS companies. If you want to actually do this yourself, send out your own campaigns, you can click one of the first links in the description below. It's a free trial to start your Smartlead account. That way you can set up your account, add your email accounts, start scraping your leads and upload it to their platform so that you can start sending out your cold email campaigns. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comments below and check out all the other videos on this channel here to learn more about cold outreach. Appreciate you guys and take care.